Happy Friday, good people. What's going on, everybody? It's the Friday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. This is the safe space where we set oppression ablaze. And guys, we've got a lot of oppression to burn down as we conclude this week. This has been an interesting week all across the board. Some weird news I saw just breaking coming out of the U.S. Senate. Kirsten Sinema says she's breaking away from the Democrats to become an independent. Bye, bitch. But you know what? She actually works well as a Democrat because a Democrat is full of basic bitches, and that is gender non-specific generalization I'm making there. The Democrat is the home of basic bitches. It's interesting that Kirsten Sin was breaking away, but you know what? I don't give a fuck about that shit. We're not talking about that shit tonight. Tonight we got bigger fish to fry. I'm very excited you guys have made a choice to join me. I hope YouTube gave you the notification. If you got the notification that we were going live right now, give me a thumbs up in the chat. I'm curious because y'all know I think YouTube is up to some, as of course Kalishi Okafor would say, up to some higgy hagger. I think YouTube be on the fucking higgy hagger, and I don't trust it. I don't trust it. But big up to my folks, them coming through. Of course, I see my good sis Court. I saw Spin Cycle Dragon. I saw Sweary Fairy up in here. 40J Blaze, what's good, bruv? Or no, but I don't 40. I assume you to be a brother, 40J. If I'm mistaken, correct me. Thank you so much to my niece Alicia. What's going on, CB? Come through. Valley Girls, my niece is in here. I can't have it. Oh, Shirley, where you been? Shirley, I've missed you. I feel like I had not seen your pretty face up in the place, Shirley. I'm glad to see you in here. Quaker Socialist, Quaker Anarchist, thanks so much. Nat Silberg, come through. What's going on? Is Latif in here? Let me say what's up to Latif in case Latif is here and I just haven't seen him. Hi, Vesper. Hi, Vesper. Me and Vesper went live the other night, y'all. And Vesper, I have been thinking about what you said. Vesper said I watch a lot of low vibrational television programming, and Vesper was fucking right. I watch a lot of low vibrational shit, and I got to pick it back up. So we're trying to make some different programming choices with my regular television consumption. But I'm so glad to see y'all in here. Hey, Leah, thank you so much for coming through. Infinite content, my bruv. Appreciate you coming through, pimp. Good show for y'all today. So we've got a lot to get to. I'm going to tell y'all what I'm going to talk about first. At the end of the show, I don't know if y'all heard this, saw this or not. I'm sure y'all did. Did y'all see the fucking king of pedophiles? the pod pedophile himself, R. Kelly, has dropped an album from jail in the year 2022 with one song allegedly titled I Admit I Did It, where he kind of gives, can't even really call it fictitious, it sounds like a first-person accounting of the way that he would groom underage girls or girls significantly younger than him for sex. And people are listening to this shit. And people are probably going to stream this shit. We've got a lot to get into at the end of the show about that. Also, guys, I want to talk to you about the ways in which ableism as a system of oppression, well, we already know that ableism can absolutely be fatal, okay? With this new policy set forth by New York City Mayor Eric Adams trying to get unhoused people off of the street, regardless to me of their mental health status, because he says, Eric Adams is, that if people are unable to feed and house themselves, then something must be mentally wrong with them. No, motherfucker, something is wrong with goddamn capitalism that makes the cost of living exorbitant, that even people who are trying to work cannot afford the cost of living, housing, food, all of that shit. So that's one way in which ableism is fatal. But there's a couple of instances that have happened over the past week in which people who are trying to intercede on behalf of the disabled themselves got attacked. And it's an interesting situation that kind of brings up shit that I talk about why aren't more abusers beat the fuck up, right? Well, sometimes, and a lot of times, truly, it's not safe to intercede. So where does that leave us? Do we just let the monsters run amok? amongst us. We'll get into that. But also, I wanted to talk about Celine Dion's announcement as part of my ableism discussion because, so in case you did not know, Celine Dion, the singer, um, the patron saint of some Caribbean aunties and nanas. So I think some Jamaican nanas claim Celine to be Jamaican for real, but regardless, Celine Dion is dealing with an incurable autoimmune disease, and I appreciate the outpouring of support and understanding for Celine and her revelation about her disability. But to me, it's always white folks. It's always white folks when we're talking about disability and the hierarchy of compassion extended by society. It's usually white folks who get all the compassion, and I'm not saying at all Celine is not deserving, because to my knowledge she's been a very exemplary, mostly unproblematic white woman out here, and that can be hard to do. But I want to get to that in just a bit. But of course, you guys already know that the story I'm going to lead off with has to do with the release of Brittney Griner, and I know this has been well covered all day, every day. Not every day, but I need y'all kids seriously. And listen, this ain't no victory lap. Actually, in a way, it is a victory lap, because I'm glad that Brittney is home. I'm glad that Viktor Bout actually got a chance to go home. But y'all know who was beating the Brittney Griner drum way out in front. Who was saying that shit way out in front? Who was pushing back against the narrative like, oh, she shouldn't have been traveling with weed. That's what she get. Who had to yank motherfuckers up by their collar and remind them that this is a black woman, she deserves our respect, and nobody should fucking be in jail for weed in the first goddamn place. Y'all ain't gotta say it. We all know. We know who was out front for Brittney Griner, and I'm happy as fuck that Brittney Griner is home. And matter of fact, let's take a look at Brittney. You guys have already seen this footage of Brittney on the plane, I think initially to the United Arab Emirates from Russia. Brittney didn't know where she was going. They didn't tell her until she was in the air that she was actually going home. So let's take a look at that footage.
What's your mood?
Happy.
Well, are you ready for long flight?
Yes.
Yeah. Good. Ну, вы знаете, куда вы летите?
Do you know where I'm heading to? No. No?
No. Вы летите домой.
You fly back home. To the US. To the US.
Да, конечно. Так что все будет нормально.
Everything will be fine.
Brittney Griner on her way back from Russia, where they made the prisoner exchange, the prisoner swap in the United Arab Emirates. And then Brittney this morning landed at somewhere, Texas, San Antonio. She's there to get a medical evaluation. And I hope she's already been reunited with her family. And of course, her wife, Sherelle. Sherelle has been bring my baby back home. Sherelle has been out there. And listen, Sherelle was at the White House yesterday to participate in the press conference announcing Brittney's release. And Biden spoke, but we're not going to hear from fucking Joe Biden. That's enough out of him. But I do want to hear from Sherelle Griner. Let's take a look. Listen.
Today, my family is whole, but as you all are aware, there's so many other families who are not whole. BG's not here to say this, but I will gladly speak on her behalf and say that BG and I will remain committed to the work of getting every American home, including Paul, whose family is in our hearts today. As we celebrate BG being home, we do understand that there are still people out here who are enduring what I endured the last 9 months of missing tremendously their loved ones. So thank you everybody for your support. And today it's just a happy day for me and my family. So I'm gonna smile right now.
You better smile. You better smile, Sherelle Griner. Congratulations to the Griners for Brittney's arrival, her arrival home. And let me say this just very quickly. Number one, if WNBA players were paid comparable or anywhere near in the same neighborhood as the NBA, as their male counterparts, there would be no reason for extremely gifted athletes such as Brittney Griner, such as a lot of these WNBA players, to go overseas, to go abroad for months at a time, to leave their families for the opportunity to supplement their income in the WNBA offseason. Okay. It is everything to do. That's the whole fucking reason why she was there. I know Russia had charged her with smuggling, trafficking, and fucking, pounds of, of hash. They said Brittney was a fucking drug mule out this bitch. Okay. Well, guess what? The whole reason why she was there was not to traffic in hashish cartridges, which I still believe that she did not have in her possession. And I have a feeling I'll be validated and vindicated in the weeks to come because I bet you Brittney will make a statement. But regardless, the whole reason she was over there was to make extra money. And if this system, if the professional athletic system paid women what they deserved, what they are worth, paid women athletes what they are what they are owed, then there would be no reason for Brittney Griner to have gone to a place like Russia to have to play basketball. Okay, there's that. The other part of that is there should be nobody incarcerated any fucking where for cannabis. For no, I don't even care how much cannabis. I don't care if it's keys, pounds, OZs. Nobody should be locked up for marijuana. That's it. Not hash, not anything, regardless of the amount. Okay. And just be clear, even though Russia went extra hard and decided to be extra petty when dealing with Brittney, and of course, it had everything to do with the war in Ukraine, had everything to do with deteriorating diplomatic relations between the United States and Russia, had everything to do with Brittney being a prisoner of opportunity simply because she was there, right? Why? Because the WNBA don't pay fair. But okay, so because she was there, she was a prisoner of opportunity, and Russia ran with that shit, right? But I before I went on the air, I watched the local news. Okay. And NBC4 Washington will have Meet the Press's Chuck Todd. They'll have Chuck Todd on there to preview whatever the fuck he gonna talk about on Sunday. And this motherfucker Chuck Todd had the audacity to say that Brittney Griner's life was in danger in Russia. That as a black woman, as an African American, as an LGBTQ, a member of that community, that her life was in actual danger. And I thought, I almost thought Chuck Todd was joking because he could have easily made those same descriptions about Brittney Griner, even throw in the weed. And guess what? Her life in as much danger here as it is in a place like Russia, as a black woman, as a very visible black woman, as a member of the gay community. Maybe Chuck Todd wasn't aware that there have been dozens of states that have made new laws targeting members of the LGBTQ community, right? The fucking Congress just had to ratify a bill securing gay marriage and interracial marriage, making sure that it's somewhat codified into federal law, making it so that even states that don't have gay marriage on the books has to acknowledge legally gay marriages performed in other states. Like, I'm sorry, you think gay people are safe here? I'm sorry, you think black people are safe here? Huh? Oh, and you think there's not people currently sitting in U.S. jails right now for marijuana? Every single thing said negatively about the Russian jail system can easily be described. You could be describing the U.S. prison system the exact same way. And I really want to thank my comrade Jacqueline Lukman Nation, by any means necessary, on Sputnik Radio. Fuck with Jackie. Jackie choked my chain. Well, not choked my chain. Maybe that don't sound right. Jackie, in a nice way. In a nice way. She went like when or if you look on, what day was that, y'all? Was that Thursday? When Brittney was announced, the announcement came down, and Jackie broke the news because I had not yet heard the news, and I was so excited, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so happy that Brittney won't be in the gulag." And Jackie was like, "We got gulags all around this goddamn country, Kim." I said, "You know what, Jackie, you are right." Brittany's situation, to me, the only thing that made her situation that much more precarious is just the distance away from her loved ones that she was. But even people locked up in this country, their loved ones are not always able to come see them for a variety of different reasons. And before I get into the American gulags, like I said, big up Jackie Lukman for pulling my coat a little bit. I appreciate that. But before I get into the American gulags for a second, because I did not have to look far to find stories. I'm talking about 2 fucking days, stories about the conditions happening in US jails. And there have been lots of stories throughout 2022 and previous, because the pandemic was a basically a genocide inside of American jails. But we'll get to that in a moment. But before I go there, I wanted to talk to y'all about Viktor Bout. Okay. So Viktor Bout, oh man, they dragging Viktor Bout today. The American media is pissed off. The right wing, so angry, so angry at Viktor Bout. And I want to play y'all this clip. It must have been on 2020 or 60 Minutes or some fucking thing. I can't even really tell you what year it was. I'm gonna assume it's got to been within the past decade, because that's how long Viktor Bout was in federal jail. I believe he has served 11 years. How much was they trying to give Big Vic? 25? Woo! They said Victor was out here causing terrorism. I said, who said that? The American government? Is it them? You, homie, you. Peep this clip that has made the rounds today on right-wing media. And y'all, the breathless federal official spokesperson of the U.S. intelligence agency, I can't remember this nigga's FBI, CIA, or what. He about to spend a lot of bullshit, okay? And to the extent the truth or untruthiness of the alleged crimes that Viktor Bout is said to have committed. Every time this nigga talked and laid out something that Viktor Bout did, all I heard was George W. Bush and fucking John Bolton. So keep those 2 jankros in mind as you listen to this U.S. intelligence officer lay out all the atrocities that Viktor Bout is responsible for. Let's take a look.
Viktor Bout, in my eyes, is one of the most dangerous men on the face of the earth.
On the face of the earth.
Without a doubt.
Mike Braun, the former chief of operations for the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, told us Bout first exploded on the scene in war-torn West Africa in the late 1980s, elevating bloody conflicts from machetes and single-shot rifles to
AK-47s, not by the thousands, but by the tens of thousands.
So he weaponizes civil war in Africa.
He transformed these young adolescent warriors into insidious, mindless, maniacally driven killing machines that operated with assembly line efficiencies.
Now 43, Bout from the Soviet Republic of Tajikistan is a mystery man who reportedly served in the Soviet Air Force and intelligence service. The U.S. has indicted him on 4 terror-related charges, including conspiracy to kill Americans.
What makes him a threat to the United States?
He is a shadow facilitator. He's arming not only designated terrorist groups, insurgent groups, but he's also arming very powerful drug trafficking cartels around the globe.
Taking advantage of Russian military contacts at the highest levels and the collapse of the Soviet Union, federal prosecutors allege Bout essentially became a one-stop shop, offering an unlimited supply of stockpiled Cold War weapons to bad guys around the world, including Charles Taylor of Liberia, who's now on trial for war crimes. According to the U.S. indictment, Bout had a unique selling point when it came to weapons trafficking. A fleet of cargo airplanes capable of transporting weapons and military equipment anytime, anywhere. More than 60 planes in all, his own private air force.
Those Russian aircraft were built like flying dump trucks. He could move this stuff and drop it with pinpoint accuracy to any desert, to any jungle, to any other remote place in the world, right into the hands of what I refer to as the potpourri of global scum.
That man just sounds salty that Viktor Bout had a fraction of the capability of the U.S. military, right? Who are the biggest arms dealers in the world? I'm sorry, did y'all say Raytheon? Did somebody say Northrop Grumman? Did what's some other niggas? Did somebody say Boeing? Did somebody say BAE Systems? If you think that Viktor Bout, now don't get me wrong, okay? Viktor Bout was out here slanging everything. When I say everything, Vic had everything. What you need, what you need. He had it, okay? No doubt, no question about that. But look at where he was arming people in places that had already been destabilized by the West, right? Destabilized by the United States, by Europe, imperialist powers, right? This is some shit. Vic was, serving up the market, what the market could bear. And the market of violence and civil war and instability, political instability, is what the United States, that's the kind of market that the United States and Europe created. So Victor was there, capitalizing like a capitalist, right? I thought America liked capitalism. Apparently not. Not when it's kicking America's ass, right? But listen to all that flowery propaganda. You would think that Viktor Bout by himself, he killed everybody, right? But it's so amazing to me. There is a war criminal running around here right now who is responsible for at least 1 million deaths. There's actually 2 or 3, maybe even 5, 6 war criminals in this country responsible for millions of people's deaths. And they were able to traffic a lot of arms in the process. In fact, they even armed so-called terrorist organizations like Al Qaeda. Who might you ask? Let's go through that Bush administration cabinet. Let's start with the president, fucking vice president, secretary of defense, the UN ambassador. I wish I would have pulled that clip from John Bolton when he appeared on CNN and Jake Tapper dumbass sat there and looked stupid after John Bolton admitted to being the architect of numerous coups, lots of coups John Bolton bragged about on American cable news networks, bragged about creating coups. But Viktor Bout is my enemy, nigga, please. And let me tell you something this real quick. I've said it before and I'm going to keep saying it because I was talking to my mother today and my mind continues to be blown that this is even the facts. It's so weird that this is some true shit. But when I worked for Russian media 10 years ago, about the time that Viktor Bout went down, Viktor Bout gave me a shout out. Viktor Bout said that he liked to listen to the Kim Brown show on the Voice of Russia radio. And to this day, I can't help but smile. And I don't know whether or not, why am I smiling? I'm partially freaked out about it. But on one hand, it's kind of like, man, dog, that's kind of cool. This person that every news network is calling the Merchant of Death said aloud on tape, and I have it somewhere on tape. I gotta find it. It's somewhere, but I have witnesses, okay? I have multiple witnesses who can verify that I am telling the truth. Viktor Bout fucked with my show, my talk show on Russian radio when he was being held at Rikers before he got transferred to the Supermax out west. And that's wild. That's some wild shit. So big up Brittney Griner. Congratulations to Brittney, her wife Sherelle, her parents, her Phoenix Mercury teammates, everybody across the country, I hope, is happy to have Brittney home. I know there's a lot of fucking haters, but we don't give a fuck about them at all. Brittney Griner is home. Viktor Bout is home. I know they greeted Victor with Russia's finest vodka. they had some of Russia's hottest sex workers. They had flew in a nice, probably, I can't even say a couple ounces of coke. What you think? How strong do you think Viktor Bout partied when he got back to Moscow? He didn't go to Tajikistan. Why would he do that? He didn't go back home to Tajikistan. Vladi was waiting for him in the Kremlin like, my nigga, what's up? Kak dela, shtoti dalesh, my man Big Vic, come through. So as somebody that is not dismayed by Viktor Bout, nor the shit that Viktor Bout has done, especially relative to what very recent and alive American presidents have done globally in to feed the arms race. Matter of fact, Joe Biden's a fucking arms dealer out here slinging all kinds of arms to Ukraine. So miss me with being offended that my man Viktor Bout is home, and he's home. So there is that. God, oh, wait. Hold on. Before I even go further, I'm sorry, I lost my place a little bit here on my screen, but I did want to talk to you about the American Gulag because the U.S. Gulag is totally a thing. But you guys know that. We have a bunch of very conscientious folks, a lot of politically savvy and politically astute folks, and we care about our brothers and sisters behind the wall. We understand the kinds of conditions that they're facing. And let me give y'all just again the the most recent stories that again some of these came out today, and a story that has been ongoing regarding U.S. prisons has been the horrific conditions that people that are being held in New York's Rikers Island have been experiencing since the pandemic and beyond, truly, with over a dozen and a half or roughly 17, 18 people so far this year have died behind the wall in Rikers. Inmates continue to decry the conditions at Rikers, the overcrowding, the unsanitary conditions, the inedible food there, the amount of violence that correctional officers are allowed to let fester until they become very serious problems. And, people who are incarcerated at Nevada's Ely State Penitentiary are on a hunger strike right now, starting December 1st. So we are at the 9th. So they are about in day 8 of their hunger strike at Ely State Penitentiary. And what the incarcerated folks there say is that the conditions there are such that number one, they're being served moldy food. They only get like a peanut butter sandwich and like a piece of moldy fruit. And then they get some other very low caloric or highly not nutritional something else for dinner. But then they're putting restrictions on the amount of food items that they can actually purchase with their own money. So at Ely State Penitentiary in Nevada, incarcerated folks there are only allowed to spend roughly about $50 a week, $100 bi-weekly on food, right? They can't buy any more, which is very strange. Pull up that article for, oh, you got it. Okay, the Ely State 100, they so much well. So I want to shout out an organization called Return Strong that is a prisoners advocacy group based in Nevada that has been putting out information regarding this hunger strike that incarcerated folks there. And they want some of their demands include they want prison officials there to address due process interference and violations in the grievance process. They feel as though correctional officers and prison administrators are being too punitive and not responsive to abuses committed by some of their prison staff. They other demands include providing adequate and nutritious food, which incarcerated folks said they are not receiving. They want prison officials to address health and safety concerns in facilities and provide resolution to them. And they have a list of other demands. And so far, we are at about, give or take, 40 incarcerated folks that are participating in this hunger strike. And I just, guys, want you guys to understand it. And maybe you guys don't have to think too hard about it, but you know how fed up you have to be with a situation when you say, I'm not going to fucking eat no more? Like, I'm not going to eat anything until this is resolved. Now, according to some of the prison officials, they're saying that some incarcerated folks there are taking small meals and then resuming their hunger strike. But I want us to keep an eye on this because what the organizers of this hunger strike say is that these conditions that they are experiencing at Ely State Penitentiary are present across the Nevada Department of Corrections, that these people are subjected to just inhumane conditions and they have very little redress. And they also talked about how during the pandemic, the conditions there got worse, that people found themselves in 23-hour lockdown. They found themselves spending extended time within solitary confinement for no good apparent health driven reason, right? Um, and this is the case across the country. We have seen incarcerated people take up many actions, not just this year. Even from doing my research, I'm like, God damn, I was looking at 2019. It was like 2 or 3 different prison riots in Arizona alone. Like, the people who are on the inside have been telling us, they have been trying to tell us, sound the alarm, ring the bell about how inhumane it is. And it is always, again, funny to me. And again, I can't thank Jackie enough for bringing my vision into focus. Like, ooh, Debbie, come on. But no, I mean, just the audacity of Americans to talk about, oh my God, I wouldn't want to be locked up in Russia. Baby, you do not want to be locked up in America, okay? Locked up abroad, they need to take that and rename it Locked Up in America. And they need to start at Rikers and come back down to Parchment Prison in Mississippi and then go over to Alabama, where incarcerated folks there had organized a work stoppage. If you go on Burn It Down with Kim Brown 2 months ago, I covered that story here. We have it clipped out as a segment if you want to revisit it. But y'all, there's not much difference between the Russian penal colony and the U.S. American penitentiary. Find the difference. What's the difference? Black people still working on plantations as a part of prison slave labor. What is the fucking difference? Do you think LGBTQ people are treated nicely in American jails? Especially in the men's prisons? You think our trans folks are safe in American jails? Nope, they sure aren't. So as unsafe as Brittney was, Americans and people who find themselves within the American carceral system are also unsafe, likely more unsafe than Brittney Griner was. One more story about that. So let's go to Mississippi. Speaking of Parchment, this piece, I'm not even sure if I was aware of this. So this is written in the Mississippi Free Press, and the headline is "The Gangs Run the Prison. Witness disputes official Parchment death account." And who wrote this? Kayore Crown. Thank you so much. This was published this week, actually. So what this is about has to do with the Department of Justice, I believe, either doing a consent decree or filing a lawsuit against the Missouri Department of Corrections for violating the constitutional rights of incarcerated folks. And somebody should actually send this article to Chuck Todd, since Chuck Todd seems to think that, Brittney Griner was uniquely unsafe in the Russian Gulag. Maybe he should be made aware about the conditions at Parchment Prison. But with this witness disputes is the death number that is contained in a U.S. Department of Justice report that they filed specifically against Parchment Prison. So this inmate, or this formerly incarcerated person who has been released from his kidnapping sentence, now 61 years old, says that they witnessed a gang attack on 2 inmates in which the inmates were in effect beat to death. Okay. So what happened was the Department of Justice. So here's on November 7th, the Department of Justice spokesperson told the Mississippi Free Press in an email that the department is continuing to investigate conditions at 3 other prisons in Mississippi. Okay, that's not the paragraph I was looking for, but hold on. So the Department of Justice, again, has the Missouri Department of Corrections under consent decree, or they are investigating them for violating prisoners' constitutional rights. But what this formerly incarcerated person says that he witnessed these inmates be murdered at the hands of so-called gang members. But when he read the Department of Justice report that came out, what he noticed was that the deaths that he witnessed were not included in the total death count as reported in this DOJ document. which made the formerly incarcerated person just cast all sorts of doubts about the veracity and the accuracy of the report's findings at all. Why is either the Mississippi Department of Corrections covering up these deaths, or is the Department of Justice complicit in allowing MDOC to cover up these inmate deaths? Quite interesting. Quite interesting. But the takeaway is that at Parchman, the COs don't run it, the gangs run it. And I'm guessing in Russia, the gangs probably run the prisons there too, in some form or fashion. The American prison system is as inhumane and as decrepit of a relic as I would imagine the Russian prison system is. So please correct people when they talk about Brittney Griner being in the Gulag, okay? Depending on where you are in America, chances are there's a Gulag not too far from you, okay? America is full of gulags here with, by the way, as Jacqueline reminded us, the United States boasts the world's largest population of incarcerated people. More than Russia, more than China, more than Tajikistan, more than fucking Saudi Arabia, whatever. US lock up more people than anybody. We are housing more people in jails and penitentiaries than anywhere else in the world. Does that sound like the beacon of democracy to you? No, it sounds like the engine, one of capitalism's many engines to keep people locked down, to keep their bodies away, to keep families split up, to ruin people's lives, to subject them to violence and inhumanity. And that's what America specializes in. That and selling weapons of war, very much like Viktor Bout. It's funny how much America has in common with Russia and Viktor Bout. Must be why they hate him so much. They see themselves, America that is, sees itself in fucking Russia and in the actions of the merchant of death, Viktor Bout. If Viktor Bout is the merchant of death, baby, America is the factory. America is the means of production of death, okay? Victor's just a salesperson. America fucking manufactures the shit. America manufactures it and ships it across the globe. Victor was doing just specialized deliveries. Goddamn. So anyway, remember our people that are locked down, y'all, and we want all of them to be free. So free them all. I'm glad Brittney's free. I'm glad Victor is free. Free them all. That nigga Paul Whelan, on the other hand, that motherfucker was spying. He might need to stay where he is. You know that I don't know if I want Paul to be free just yet, because I think Paul was spying. As soon as they said he was a former U.S. Marine, I said that nigga was over there spying. He need to keep him over there. He did that shit. Brittney wasn't fucking trafficking hashish, goddammit. But anyway, I digress. So hold up, everybody. Thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. Please be sure to give the video a thumbs up, a like, a subscription. We are about 40 subscribers away from 3,500 now. I had dreams. I had aspirations of us making it to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Unless barring something extremely goofy happening, that may not happen. But if we can get to 3,500, shit, I'd be glad. So spread the word. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Yeah, thank you all so much. Help me get to 3,500 before we go. Hey, Anna Hart. Thank you, dearest. Anna just ran the channel some bucks. Thank you so much. And that is exactly what I was getting ready to tell the people them. Anna, so as you guys may or may not know, here on Burn It Down with Kim Brown, we do a monthly disability support chat. I am a disabled person, and I know there's a lot of disabled people out here because the statistics tell me so. 1 in 5 in America. That's 20%. That's a lot of fucking people out here walking around with disabilities, some visible, some invisible, and inaccessibility and ableism continue to be an ongoing problem within our society. So we have a disability support chat where we all sit around and shoot the shit and laugh and complain. And, you know, sometimes we do the opposite of laughing, but sometimes we complain. So if you want to hang out with us, it is this Monday. Lord, Anna, what's Monday's date, girl? You know, I don't never know what day it is. What's the day? The 9th? Saturday the 10th, Sunday 11th, Monday the 12th. There we go. That's going to be December the 12th, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to participate, either hit Anna up directly and if you're a patron and or a member of the channel, the information for you to log in and participate in Monday's Around the Fire Disability Support Chat will be available on our members only section on Patreon. This is not totally limited to members and patrons, but we like to keep it, invite only, so to speak, because we talk about very, sensitive healthcare information about diagnoses and such. Sunday, the 11th, is the Caregivers Chat, hosted by Mama Lorraine. So if you help to care for disabled people or disabled loved ones, because the caregivers also are going through everything usually that the disabled person is going through, and that obviously can come with its own set of stressors. That is also happening this Sunday. So if you're on Patreon and if you're a member, you can look for that information. If not, hit up Anna Hart directly. Anna, thank you so much for your support. Mama Lorraine, thank you also. Also from the super chat, Franny France. Franny! What's the opposite of a Karen? It's a Franny, okay? I'm telling you, Franny, Freddie French says, hashtag free 'em all. With the super chat come through, Freddie French. Woo! And we have another super chat support. Thank you. Ooh, Ria Land. Thank you so much. How do you do that, girl? Okay, Ria Land gifted 5 Burn It Down with Kim Brown memberships. How do you even do that? But that's so cool that you did that. So thank you, Ria Land. Thank you so much, baby. Appreciate that. And thank you to everybody that, hey, what's up, Shanette? Shanette's here. Yay. Hey, Donnie's here. Afraid Not is here. Woo. Oh, y'all be my favorites. Oh, I'm so glad that my folks be in here. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Okay, well, speaking of disability, let's get into the ableism because ableism mad ting out here. What is ableism? Well, ableism ableism is non-disabled's way of subjecting or subjugating disabled people and making everyday things either more challenging, inaccessible, or making disabledness feel less than. Y'all like my very rambly definition. It is what it is. So I'm not gonna lie, this announcement, it kind of got me. I want to play this. So what kind of music does Celine Dion sing? Does it qualify as pop? I really just thought about that. I'm not even sure what genre I would put Celine Dion in. Perhaps, I guess, adult contemporary? I don't fucking know. All I know is Celine be singing. And it is something about Celine Dion's voice that specifically, like Black women of a certain age, specifically of Caribbean descent, I mean, will fight over Celine Dion. Like, you can't say bad things about Celine Dion. Like, I dare you to go to Jamaica and try to talk shit about Celine Dion. It will not end well for you. Okay? But Celine Dion was slated to begin her tour very soon, but that has all changed because she announced that she has an incurable disease, an incurable condition. And I want to take a look at the announcement that she made on Twitter. It has gotten millions and millions of views. So let's take a look at what Celine Dion had to say.
Hello, everyone. I'm sorry it's taken me so long to reach out to you. I miss you all so much. And I can't wait to be on stage talking to you in person. As you know, I've always been an open book. And I wasn't ready to say anything before. But I'm ready now. I've been dealing with problems with my health for a long time. And it's been really difficult for me to face these challenges and to talk about everything that I've been going through. Recently, I've been diagnosed with a very rare neurological disorder called stiff person syndrome, which affects something like 1 in a million people. While we're still learning about this rare condition, we now know this is what's been causing all of the spasms that I've been having. Unfortunately, these spasms affect every aspect of my daily life, sometimes causing difficulties when I walk and not allowing me to use my vocal cords to sing the way I'm used to.
I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw that, and again, I don't consider myself to be a fan of Celine Dion's. I mean, I don't have anything against her, but I mean, I just don't go up for her. And I respect her as a vocalist. I mean, should Celine be singing? There ain't no doubt about that. But her music just doesn't do it for me per se. But when I watched that, I did feel a definite way about it. Okay. I know I don't usually, and I'm not about to now, but I do not usually talk about my disability here in this space. I will talk about it in the disability support chat, and I've talked about it on previous AMAs, Ask Me Anything. But I know what it's like to receive a diagnosis for which there is no cure, and for which that disability and that condition impacts every single thing you do, from walking around your house, from trying to run errands. And when I look at Celine Dion, like, I could not help but to really feel my heart go out to her, because I know that. And I know there are people with us tonight who are also dealing with incurable things. Okay. And even though there's seemingly no cure for what Celine has, and seemingly very little treatments and therapies available so that she can resume doing what it is that she does. She's a singer, she's a performer, she sings for people, right? She's not able to do that. And I can relate to that. Um, but one of the things I also took away, in addition to feeling tremendous amount of empathy and compassion for Celine, is that Celine is very much at the top of the so-called disabled food chain, right? Um, she's white, right? She's moneyed, she's famous, she's a global celebrity. I'm certain whatever cutting edge treatments that could become available in the future to treat her at present incurable condition, they're going to call her first when those new technologies come up, right? And that, to me, is usually how we see disability. That usually depends and dictates the ways in which people demonstrate empathy for disabled people. It very much, however you rank on the overall social hierarchy, class hierarchy. If you are disabled, you will that shit ranks out the same way, dog. Um, Rich and white first, followed by, I guess, not so rich and white, then maybe rich non-white. But without a doubt, poor disabled people get the least amount of usually help, services, and compassion out in the public, right? And I need you guys to know that, again, as a disabled person, it is even for somebody like Celine Dion, like I really take my hat off to her, because to come forward about your medical problem, again, about some shit she can't even really do anything about, that takes a lot of gumption. Okay. But again, I know that she would be close to the top in sympathy receiving. And so there's that. I saw a story today. It was more like a Twitter thread, and it's from a visually impaired person that I follow. And maybe I think they identify as non binary now. They were assigned female at birth, and have now transitioned to, I think, male. I'm not sure what their pronouns are. They might be they or him. But they're on Twitter, and you can follow them at Catch These Words. And I've been following this person for a while, because this person was born blind in the United Kingdom. You want to talk about a bad motherfucker? Born blind in the UK, went to school at the University of Colorado, completed some sort of, step of their education there, and is now returned back to the UK to pursue their PhD. But one story I read from them on Twitter a while back ago, while they were still identifying as she, they talked about an experience on an airplane. And it really stuck with me because what they said was, and I think, let me not try to armchair fucking psychoanalyze this person, but anyway, long story short, this is a person who's been blind their whole life. Okay, blind people know how the fuck to get around. If you see a blind person out and about with either their guide dog or their cane, kindly leave them the fuck alone unless they ask for some fucking help. You'd be really surprised at how audacious and entitled people can be, particularly with those who are visually impaired, under the auspices or under the guises of help. It's like, but they will come up to disabled people or visually blind people and just grab them. You need some help? Trying to yank them, pull them, ridiculous. And out of, I think, the people who are usually showing up visibly disabled, I really think the blind folks and low vision folks really get it the worst out and about in public, because people, again, feel very entitled to their space and to their body and really try to overdo it. So long story short, in this thread, this blind person talked about, it was a case where they were deplaning, but instead of going through, the bridge, right, connecting the plane to the gate, it was the case in which the stairs went all the way down and they had to actually walk on the tarmac. And again, this person is born blind. They are cane trained. They are used to going out and about in public, completely independent. And they said that as they were attempting to go down the stairs, okay, totally fine, unaided, a flight staff person got in front of them, pushed them, like grabbed them, like literally grabbed them by their breast and pushed them back, right? And the anger that this person communicated, the humiliation that this person communicated, just really left and really left something with me, right? So people who are out here, and you can look at them and tell that they are disabled, when you see them out and about doing their minding their business, doing their fucking thing, I need you guys to understand that these are the bravest people on earth, okay? And don't bother them unless they ask for help. And damn sure don't bother them. That's all I can say. But I want to talk about the ways in which ableism can turn deadly out here and can turn fatal. There was a story, and I saw this on social media, and then I saw it again on NBC Nightly News. And to NBC Nightly News's credit, well, that's the hope, they hit pieces of this story that I did not quite see on the internet. So let's go out to California. This just happened this week. Or did the tape just come out this week? I think this actually did just happen this week. So what we're going to see is a story of a California fast food worker. Yep, I have that clip, Will. who was trying to stop a bullying incident. Okay, they were at work. A person in the lobby was harassing and or bullying a relative of another staff member who was there waiting for the staff member to get off work, but this person was either mentally challenged or had some sort of visible disability happening. And I want you guys to hear what happened when this very brave woman, young girl, tried to step in and stop this bullying incident. And let me give a content warning. Well, everybody live. Let me just lead with that because I know that don't necessarily have to be the case on this show, right? But everybody survived the incident. But content warning for gender based violence, for ableism, and for violence that resulted in a disability. So let's check out this package from NBC News.
He punched me once, and then my headset and my glasses went flying off my face.
Bianca Palomera describing to us tonight what happened last Saturday when she says she stepped in to defend a person with special needs sitting in this Habit Burger Grill restaurant in Antioch.
He's throwing threats, saying slurs, just saying that he's gonna beat him up. Why does he keep looking his way? And that's when I step in and I say, it's not right what you're doing.
The suspects then got in her face, hitting her. She fought back and was hit several more times. Doctors telling Bianca she will lose her right eye.
I don't really know what to think. I think I'm still processing it.
We reached out to the franchise about the incident. They released this statement saying, the Habit Burger Grill prioritizes the safety of our team members and customers in our restaurants, and we condemn violence in any form. We extend our full support to our team member as they recover, and we are fully assisting the authorities in their efforts to identify the suspected attackers. Bianca's family set up this GoFundMe page to help with medical expenses, and they're releasing this video to get the community involved in hopes of tracking down the person who changed her life forever.
You go through not knowing how to help her, going through the acceptance, the grievance. I think we're at the rage. We're outraged because we're not getting help from the local police.
This is probably the last thing that I would have expected out of anything, but I don't fully regret, helping, stepping in. It could have been worse for my coworker's brother.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today.
Oh, no, get that nigga over here. Y'all, did y'all hear that? Did you hear that? Did you hear? I'm talking about we're going to get to the rest of it. Did you hear her at the end? This lady is going to lose her eye, and she said she would do it again because it would have been worse for the disabled person. And this is a person who themselves are now disabled. I thought that they had made an arrest in this. They did. Yep, they did. Okay, hold on. Let me give y'all this update. I hope this is the right thing. Hey, Seuss, because no, that ain't no, sure ain't that ain't the right thing. You'd be surprised at how many people get attacked in fast food restaurants. Just go ahead and try to type in a Google search. I typed in man arrested after attacking fast food worker, and a million things popped up. Nothing yep, is this it? Yep. I apologize for not having the latest update for you guys, but I'm very certain that an arrest has been made. Hold on, this is from ABC7 in the Bay Area. Oh, hey, so it's Antioch. Stop it. Shh. U.S. Marshals have made an arrest attack of a fast food worker that happened last month in Antioch. Did you just hit me with a pop-up? You sons of bitches. I'm telling you, like trying to readily look something up on the internet doing a live news program does not pay, because capitalism is determined to avert your attention to the shiny advertisement. 19-year-old Erica Palmer is an assistant manager who was punched in the face. Okay, this appears to be the correct incident. She lost her eye due to the blow that she took. Come on, I need the person's name. ABC7. because I would like to know who it is. Okay, I thought we made an arrest. How come we didn't leave with the arrest? Once they made a positive ID, they moved in to arrest him. He was outside the Antioch Police Department. Why was he outside the police department? My apologies, you guys. Give me 1 second. An employee of Antioch's Habit Burger. Okay, this is weird. I wonder why they said they made an arrest and not lead with the arrest. Very strange. Well, the headline says they made an arrest. Adios mío. Lo siento, mi gente. Lo siento. Well, fuck it. I can't find this right now. But you guys get the point. An arrest is made. An arrest hasn't been fucking made. That lady ain't gonna get her eye back. And here's the problem. Whoever the fuck punched this woman, obviously, number one, felt totally emboldened to punch a woman, closed fist in the face, right? Obviously, also felt very emboldened to be an ableist fucking asshole piece of shit in order to bully, harass, and berate a person who had obvious special needs. Like, you guys, this is what I'm saying. All of these things usually go hand in hand. If a person is a misogynist, and by person I mean man, if a man is a misogynist, the chances are he's an ableist. I know this is not necessarily gender specific, but it's la violencia, the violence, and the damage is usually perpetrated by certain folks. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway. So the misogyny, the ableism, the racism, usually all those things go hand in hand and hand in hand. And at their younger ages, either as young people, young men and women, young boys and girls or whatever, if they demonstrate these behaviors, nobody is fucking them up sufficiently. And I know, and I know there's lots of people that disagree with me on this and say, Kim, violence is not the answer. I'm not always convinced that nonviolence is the answer, though, guys, because people who are violent, they don't understand, or they don't respect words. They respect strength, okay? And sometimes the bully needs they fucking ass whipped for them to get the goddamn point, okay? You could send the bully to counseling. You could ask the bully how they feeling, whatever. Some of this shit is in them, or it's the way that they were socialized and the way that they were raised. I don't know. But I know sometimes, especially like I'm thinking of like schoolyard settings, and I've been in these situations in my school aged days. Somebody was picking on me. You just throw that punch him one good time in the mouth, and guess who never has problems for the rest of the school year? You understand? So usually bullies are fucking cowards. Bullies are soft as scrotum skin. And if you whoop a bully's ass one time, I bet you it will make an improvement in their behavior. And the thing is, so many of these little monsters are being allowed to fester. They're being overly coddled. And they're not being handled properly. I can only imagine, like, I'm just trying to think of what kind of fucking piece of shit asshole, who in the fuck picks on somebody with special needs in the lobby of the Habit Burger. And I can't thank Bianca enough for stepping up and stepping in when she did it. I'm so sorry, of all things, to lose an eye. And my God, has 2022 been a terrible year for eyes? Dog, there's been so many people losing their eyes either through police violence or incidents like this. Just a madness. But I'm so appreciative that she had the courage to do what she did, to stand up for somebody more vulnerable than she, more susceptible to being bullied than she, and she sacrificed for it. And I can understand why people, because of what actually exactly what happened to Bianca, I could totally understand why a lot of people maybe would not intervene in any sort of scenario where they see somebody either being harassed or bullied or even abused. Because the harassers, the bulliers, and the abusers are pieces of fucking shit. They might be fucking, loco. And I don't mean like mentally ill loco. I'm just talking about like a hyper machismo, ready to fight, ready to shoot, ready to stab, or whatever. But there has to be some sort of balance here, y'all. Like the monsters cannot be left fucking unabated to just be out here picking on the most vulnerable among us. And we've already concluded that the police do not keep us safe, right? I think we've arrived at that conclusion. So what's the middle? What's the solution? Self-defense? Sure. It's not smart to be carrying your gun everywhere, though. Okay, you can't carry your gun everywhere. Other weaponry? Sure. But chances are the harasser, bullier, abuser, chances are carrying a weapon too. So I think we just have to I'm telling you, we have to find a group of volunteer men. Volunteer. It has to be men and bitches that can whip ass, right? Preferably the big bone broads, them broads, 5'9" and above. 180. You know what I'm saying? Them thick bone gals. You know what I'm saying? Woo shit. We need a squad. We need a team. We need a unit, okay? That can just be dispatched when abusers have been detected and fuck him up. And explain to them, wow, they're getting fucked up. Why they're getting fucked up, right? Whoop that ass. Oh, you want to abuse, you want to pickle people hamburger, nigga? Is that what you want to do? I'm talking about greet them with hands and feet. Hands and feet. Because what's the alternative? you got young girls in here receiving fists to the fucking face for trying to stop harassment. You've got a lot of innocent bystanders in too many events to that I could even possibly name right now. But people do try to intercede, and people who try to play the hero will get fucked up. But usually when this abuse is presenting itself in public for all to see, right? It's not that person's the abusers. It's not the abuser's first go around. And we need to start nipping this shit in the bud in instance 1. And preferably we don't even let it get to instance 2. Okay. I think abusers need to get that ass whooped after the first time. Maybe there should be a hotline, but no, definitely not 911 though. We got to figure this out. Cause I feel like there's a way to do it. Like I really do. Who was the niggas they used to have in New York? New Yorkers, not the Red Berets. Who they have? The Angels. Well, the thing that your uncles used to do. what was that shit?
Chill. You gotta chill on me. You gotta chill on all of the young lords. You gotta chill.
Oh,
you gotta.
No,
I don't know.
The niggas used to wear the red varsity jackets. What was the niggas called?
Now I gotta look it up. I'm ignorant. I gotta look it up.
That's cool. All right, get off the phone, nigga. Get
All
off.
right.
Get off the phone. And I'm not talking about the young lords. I know who the young lords are. The guardian angels. Thank you. Did somebody say it? The niggas with the red varsity jackets. You know what I'm saying? And that came across as a little corny, but I'm saying I saw the vision. I dug it. Right? Can we get something like that? And so that people who are on the receiving end of abuse can dial a number and maybe some innocents might mistakenly get bad. I don't know. We got to work this out. let me figure out the protocols and the ins and the outs and the what have yous. Let me get all that together. But something's got to happen, y'all. Shit needs to happen before the fucking police get involved. And I say that with all seriousness. Like I don't think that we can talk about community action without that plan of action, okay? Because we know that there are people that are abusers, and even if they don't kill their victims, the lifetime traumas in which they can inflict upon survivors is something that nobody should have to endure or deal with at all. So anyway, let's work on that. Let's work on that. I like that idea though. I stand in support of my idea. So anyway, Thank you all so much for being here. I got one last story and then I'm going to turn y'all loose. We appreciate all the folks them coming through. 76 of y'all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, it's Big Deal. You look, I'd be so happy to see y'all. I love to see y'all in here. Like, it really makes me glad. It really makes me glad. Thank you, Big T. And that's the other thing. Big T will be coming with the fucking commentary. Big T will say we got to work on our pull-up game. Come on, Big T. What else is it? What else could it be? You goddamn right. Motherfuckers need to get pulled up on. And let me hold on. Since some motherfuckers like to say I'm a goddamn misandrous. You can suck my misandrous dick. Okay, how about that? But let me say this. The wayward bitches, the bitches that like to abuse their children, them broads that like to, what else do women do? I don't know. Should women get beat up for telling a man that it's his baby and it's not his baby? Is that a whoopable offense? I would like to go over the shit that women should get beat up for. Beat up by other women, of course. Men need not be part of that solution squad. But yes, there are definitely problematic and abusive and bad women out here who need to be collected physically as well, but by other women. Men, y'all don't volunteer for that mission. So anyway, we'll get to all that. We're working on this. This is a work in progress. Guys, if you haven't not already, please give the video a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe. Thank you so much to Rialan for gifting these memberships, which is amazing. I'm like, how the fuck do you do that? But now, see, that's I just go show you I don't know how the YouTube work. But girl, thank you, or baby girl, baby non-binary, baby gender non-conforming, gender non-specific person. Thank you for all that. And last but not least, guys, hold on. We're gonna look at this one together because it was about, oh man, maybe about 2 or 3 this afternoon, and I'm scrolling. I'm like, what else am I gonna talk about? What am I gonna talk about? Scroll. And I see R. Kelly trending. I said, why is R. Kelly trending? Why is R. Kelly trending? Is he going to do some new jail time? Because he seems to be being sentenced to jail time all around the country. He going to jail in New York. He going to jail in Chicago. He might be going to jail in some other places. So I seen R. Kelly trending. And I said, oh, this nigga might about to be doing some more time. Good. I love to see it. Oh, but that in fact was not the case. Goodwill, pop up that TMZ for me, please, bro. R. Kelly, new album. I Admit It. Drops. Unofficial release. Hits streamers. Holy shit. You have to be fucking kidding me. So there's some updates on this TMZ story. So let's start with the first thing. Okay, so they have a couple updates here. So where should we start? Okay, so let's start with the meat. Okay, so R. Kelly just dropped the biggest surprise album of 2022, a project called I Admit It, with lyrics that address the years of allegations leveled against the disgraced singer. Can we call them allegations at this point? Because there's been some convictions here. So I don't know. Are they allegations? Okay. The 13-song album features tracks with titles like I Found Love, Good Old Days, and Freaky Sensation. Some niggas do not learn. But his last 3 tracks might be the most revealing. It's a 3-part piece called I Admit I Did It, where he unloaded a ton of stuff that he's done in the past. He put the full 19-minute track on SoundCloud in 2018, but this marks the first time it's made it to Apple or Spotify. Nigga, what are these people doing? In it, R. Kelly talks about helping people that ended up turning against him before admitting to a laundry list of things, including, I done fucked with a couple of fans. That's a quote, by the way. And says that he even slept with his girlfriend's friend. class act to the end. He digs even deeper. Quote, how they going to say I don't respect these women when all I've done is represent? And also, quote, you mad that I got some girlfriends, plural, girlfriends. R. Kelly directly addresses the allegation as the tracks goes on, saying, quote, they're brainwashed, really? Kidnapped, really? Can't eat, really? Real talk, that shit sounds silly. That sounds like an R. Kelly lyric. While it's unclear exactly what he's talking about, he also seems to blame the parents of one of the female flings. Does that say flings? Tell me that. I think that does say flings. Oh, Lord. The female flings for introducing them, saying, quote, and if you really, really know, her father dropped her off at my show and told this boy to put her on the stage. I admit that. She was underage. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. He said overage. I admit that she was overage. Okay, I don't even know what that means. Nigga, what's overage? Nigga, what is overage? What is overage? At your ginormous age, R. Kelly, what the fuck is overage? Overage for R. Kelly need to be 30. And this nigga talk about overage. So clearly he meant 18. Or depending on the state, I don't even know what the age of consent is. It varies at different places. Okay, so hold on. So that's the meat. But there's been a couple of updates posted by TMZ. So the first update came at 10:17 this morning. It says a source at Sony Music tells us despite the album's claim of being a release from legacy release, it is not true. And it says it appears that this is a bootleg version. It's still unclear how the album was dropped and who was behind putting it out. And then another update came in at 11:36 a.m. and it says the album has been pulled from both Spotify and Apple Music. Well, someone with sense decided to show up to work today. And at 1:00 p.m., this latest update from TMZ, Billboard reports that the album was uploaded by M Grooves, which is a distributor owned by Universal Music Group and without ties to Sony Music. I don't understand. Maybe, well, fuck. You know what? Maybe y'all industry ends. Maybe y'all have more insight as to, I don't even understand how Sony got in this, because R. Kelly for a long time was signed to Jive Records and put out really all of his catalog on Jive, which is a subsidiary of UMG, Universal Music Groups. How the fuck Sony get into it? But all right, whatever. Either way, somebody's a fucking clown here. And the biggest clown clearly is R. fucking Kelly, okay? And R. Kelly is a motherfucker, I guess, who is determined to sell on himself to the end. Do you guys remember that whole Trapped in the Closet series? That was probably some autobiographical shit of him keeping somebody against their will, right? I mean, I remember what the Trapped in the Closet was all about. It necessarily wasn't about that, but regardless, I mean, R. Kelly does this very weird. He does a very good job of projecting his real life feelings and shit that he's gone through into his music. So if he talking about making a song called I Did It, then I believe it. What was Jesus? How many songs did R. Kelly have where he was just outright telling on himself? I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. The remix, remember? Oh my God. Hold on. Fuck this nigga. But that nigga made some remixes, goddamn. So show me some ID before I get knee deep and tell you I don't see. But them joints don't land, dog. Even though they were bops at the time, I listened to them joints. I'm like, my God, this is a rapey anthem. This is a pedophile anthem right here. Jesus. But because, you know, R. Kelly, in the eyes of some, is the king of R&B. And there was a mix of reactions on Twitter when I was reading it, scrolling. I don't do a lot of tweeting and talking that much anymore, just because I got to put up some boundaries. I need Allah to be a fence around my peace and my peace of mind. But I was scrolling that shit, and it was a mixed bag. It was some people, righteously angered that R. Kelly had the audacity to release a new project, let alone alluding to the shit that he has been convicted of doing. I admit I did it. But then there was your usual brand of fuck boys and girls who was like, R. Kelly didn't do that shit. Hashtag free R. Kelly. Hashtag the king of R&B. And let me tell you something. For problematic motherfuckers, for the trash men that I so frequently allude to, R. Kelly is one of their patron saints, dog. And I gave you an example. Y'all know who Lil Boosie is, right? Now I know my audience skews a little older, okay? So maybe not everybody knows who Lil Boosie is. And by the way, I'm older. It is me. It's me, older. It's I am older. But I know who Lil Boosie Badass is, though, right? Because Lil Boosie Badass in his day made a bop or two. But also in his day, Little Boosie has been a terrible person, including him online bullying and making negative comments about Dwayne Wade's daughter Zaya, this young girl who is trans and transitioning to girlhood, right? And he would say that Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union terrible parents and blah 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 blah. He always worried. And y'all seen Gabrielle Union drag that nigga the other day, right? I should have pulled that up because that shit was hilarious. But anyway, Boosie, said that what will reapprise me of Boosie's worst hits, where he claimed that the pandemic was the plandemic and just all kinds of goosey shit. I'm sure he was a defender of Chris Brown, all kinds of shit. Just a random, Anyway, so let me play y'all this video of of R. Kelly's record. And I apologize that the record is even in this, but I saw this and I said, you know what? This is perfect. This is emblematic of all of the fucking lost ass wayward motherfuckers who want to defend and uphold sexual abusers and pedophiles at all costs because y'all don't want to be taking the black man down. Why you want to bring the black man down? This particular black man, why does he want to bring down dozens of young girls' futures? How come nobody asked about the young girls' futures that this very rich predatory dickhead has taken and tried to ruin? So anyway, let me just show y'all this clip of Boosie Badass loving that new R. Kelly. Let's go.
Some respect on my damn name. Now Wendy Williams mad with me, but I ain't never offer her no drink. But I admit that she asked me, get a little Hennessy. Then we both turn off our phone. We drink, I smoke, we talk. And I admit that I told it all. From my good points to my faults. She said, what about Aaliyah? I said, love. She said, what about the tape? I said, hush. I said, my lawyer said, don't say none. But I can tell you I've been set up. I admitted how ever since the first day.
Now, Lil Boosie probably gonna pick up his girlfriend from basketball practice, bumping that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tell you, why? And again, R. Kelly's another one. R. Kelly's a perfect fucking example. This should have got fucked up after Aaliyah. You understand? The nigga should have had a tibula or fibula fractured in some way over Aaliyah. And that nigga would have never had a chance to abuse dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens more. You know what I mean? And then here come the argument from garbage niggas like fucking Lil Boosie. He ain't rape all the bitches. Well, how many bitches is the acceptable number, nigga? What's the acceptable number of underage girls to violate? It just really makes me fucking sick because that goofy ass nigga Kanye West referenced R. Kelly the other day when he was at Alex Jones and he was like, yeah, me and my Christian faith, we support R. Kelly. We support Harvey Weinstein. Why don't you support the fucking victims, you piece of shit? Why the fuck are you supporting the powerful abusers? Why don't the victims ever cross these motherfuckers' minds? Never. Because black women and girls especially are disposable out here. Kevin Samuels said that shit. He said it on a clip I think we played on BPM months ago. And he was like, I don't care, especially talk about bitches my age. Oh Lord. I never forget that. Kevin Samuels was like, yeah, are you Gen X bitches? Are you old bitter bitches? Yeah, we don't care about your trauma. Nigga, I'm aware. Thank you for sharing some information I already fucking knew. We know you don't care about the trauma. You don't care about middle-aged women's trauma. You don't care about old women trauma. You don't care about young girl trauma. You don't even care about your fucking daughter's trauma. Not all y'all. You know who I'm talking to. And I better not see no hit dogs hollering. Courtney, if a motherfucker starts hollering about why you gotta blah, 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 show them motherfuckers to the goddamn door. I ain't entertaining no hit dogs hollering in my chat tonight. Okay, period, point blank. Because anybody wants to come in here, and I know nobody in here better be doing that, but we would not throw on capes for abusers of young women and young girls. Never, ever. And whoever is continuing to enable R. Kelly, whoever brought that nigga the mic, whoever brought in the fucking laptop, whoever was EQing the Pro Tools, whoever mixed that shit down, fuck you. You are as much of a piece of shit as that nigga. If you want to help manufacture pedophilia anthems by the pedophile himself, you ain't no better than the bodyguards and everybody else around R. Kelly that were bringing these young women to his doorstep. Cancel culture is not a thing, okay? Abusers do not get canceled, not en masse, not uniformly, not across the board. We can say R. Kelly's in jail, right? But that nigga just put out a new album. That don't sound like a nigga that's canceled to me. And it sounds like, if you was really pressed to go find it, you could find it. Cancel culture, right. Nigga in jail, about to be under the fucking jail, dropping new albums, cancel culture is not real, especially if you harmed are black women and girls, or brown women and girls, or disabled people. Like, there's a hierarchy about whoever the victim is depends on the harshness of the treatment of the abuser, right? Depend like if it's R. Kelly victims, sure, they'll send R. Kelly to jail, but they'll let him do that. Anyway, I'm getting angry. I'm getting off the phone now. Guys, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. I'm sorry. I'm very grumpy now. I have thoroughly pissed myself off, and now I have to go roll up because fuck of that shit. Do me a favor, guys, at the fucking bar, at the goddamn, I'm sorry, now I'm just cussing for no reason. At the top of the chat, we have all of our links up there. This month, we are supporting the Baltimore Abortion Fund, everybody. So the channel, because we are supporting them for November and December, we are going to be making a $100 donation to the Baltimore Abortion Fund by the end of 2022. We just want to support the people that are doing the work, trying to make sure that pregnant people have access to the medical resources that they need, so they can best dictate what is the path forward for their own lives, and not fucking pieces of shit like the Supreme Court justices who took away pregnant folks' right to get access to abortion services. So the Baltimore Abortion Fund does help a lot of people coming from out of state. Maryland is a abortion friendly state. Many people are traveling very long distances to come here to have these abortion services. So the Baltimore Abortion Fund does an outstanding job with that. So join us in supporting them this month with as much as or as little as you can. We certainly appreciate it. So anyway, what's happening? Am I having a problem? Is my shit whatever? Okay. Anyway, guys, appreciate you so much. We'll see you back on Tuesday. Oh, fuck that. I'll see y'all Monday for the Round the Fire Disability Support Chat, 5 p.m. Eastern. If you want to get in, holla at Anna Hart. And the Caregivers Chat, Support Chat, is this Sunday. YouTube members and patrons, you could be looking out for that. Oh, last but not least, hold on. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for keeping y'all for so long. Thank you all so much for staying with me. Some people ran us some bucks, and I forgot to mention them, and I did not want to forget to mention them. Patrick S., Thank you so much for running us some bucks. You rock, my G. Who else? My man Big Otis. Come through, Otis. Otis ran us some bucks. Thank you, Otis. Tasha. Tasha ran us some bucks. 2 ways. Thank you so much, Tasha. And thank you so much to Kayla R. Oh, I'm sorry, that don't say R. Kayla. Yes, that says R. Okay. No, that's definitely Kayla N. Thank you, Kayla, for supporting the channel. Of course, Courtney and Latif. Thank you guys for all that you do, Don't forget, y'all, COVID is out here jumping on people. Is the ER full near you? You don't say. The pediatric ICU at capacity? You don't say. Please wear your masks. If you have not always been wearing your mask, please resume wearing your mask. Now, the CDC is starting to come out and suggesting mask wearing. Do you know what that tells me? That tells me that COVID must have a variation out here that's out here walking the fuck around, because why else would the CDC suggest mask wearing unless the situation has really gotten serious? So I've been telling you the whole time, please wear your mask, wash your hands, social distance, wear your mask, especially if you're going to be around children or just in indoor public spaces. On behalf of Will and Molly, thank you guys so much for your support. Will, I appreciate you staying with me in overtime. G, y'all be easy out here. Be safe, guys. See y'all later. Bye-bye. Thank you, Fire Fam. Love y'all. Doses.